Right, just first, kind of the status on Jarrett Davey.
Jared's day to day. Took a pretty good shot to his back rib area. Um, we'll see how that goes. Right now, if I had to list him, it would definitely be questionable.
How long will you drag that decision forward?
I'm not going to drag it out. If the kid can't throw by tomorrow, he's not going to play. He's got a lot of football left in his career, and James will get another opportunity. He put us in the situation to be in the game. We had and that's kind of hated it for the kid because, he did some positive things. We made the big mistake early, late in the ball game, we'll get him ready to go, and he'll go out and he'll compete come Saturday.
And with Davies' injury, that's not a season.
It's not a season injury deal. It's a short-term deal. But again, that kid has a lot of football left to play in his career, and we're going to err. We're going to be very cautious with our decision.
When you looked at the film on the pick six, did your thoughts about it change?
No, hadn't changed since Saturday's press conference, and those are mistakes that we can't make. Especially at that moment in the game. Those are predetermined decisions instead of going, number one, keeping the play on, and then not really trusting your read. So we've talked about it. Look to see improvement in that area. But again, hated it for the kid, hated it for our football team because really felt like he made some throws and made some plays in that game that gave us an opportunity to win. So he's got to get better, we've got to get better, and we'll keep moving forward.
Is there ways that James was different in that game than he was in the first 3 games this season?
Well, he was a little more accurate, which helped. I think he completed a little bit over 60% of his passes, which gives us an opportunity to win the game. Really, you go back to play 54, on the deep ball to Scotty. There's so many little plays, so many little things. We fingertips away, we make that throw, we make that catch. We put ourselves, sorry about that, in a position to get a win. But we didn't get it done. Intermission. Halftime. Round 2.
Just hope it stays at time.
We got it.
What about Miami's receivers? They look like they're pretty big. Is that a concern?
Yeah. They're big and long and kind of fast too. It's always a concern anytime you face guys with Gardner's skill set. But our kids did a decent job against them last year. They've got to do a great job of understanding what he's trying to run and the route tree that he's trying to work. I know that Coach E will do a great job of having those guys prepared. I thought they played well, and I thought they competed their tail off last Saturday. One of the things that I talked to them about, I don't need them just to compete right now. I need them to dominate because competing is not leading to wins. So we need a different mindset. Right now we need you to go dominate. We need you to go defensively take over a game. If we can play some man-to-man defense like we were able to do Saturday night versus Akron, that bodes well for us. So we'll know where he is, especially in the red zone. We'll roll coverage to him a little bit, which everybody's tried to do this year, but got to make him earn it.
And how much do you take away from being able to get the running game going a little bit last game?
Well, like we talked about prior to the last game, going into the conference, I told you you're going to see our defense play better. I told you you're going to see our pass protection be better. I told you to see us run the ball better. Those were all facts. That will continue as this year goes on. The bottom line is you lose the turnover battle 4-2, which we've done a pretty good job of this year. You don't give yourself a chance to win. We had 8 penalties, and really the penalties were made with guys in good position. In 06, he's got great coverage, running stride to stride with the guy, but just hooks that backside arm. Don't panic. Play confident. Offensive line will get a holding call. Labus, we're talking about one of those guys that this is their first body of work, first time being out there. You're in perfect position. We've got him hooked. We've got a 1st and 10. Keep that hand inside. Don't grab. It's those little things that we got to stop doing, and it's guys trying to do too much. So, we got to get them to relax and play within themselves.
Is there a way to get anybody past that point without?
No, just it's reps. It's reps, or you get somebody else in there that can play. And I promise you, we've played a ton of people this year, and if if there's somebody out there that's ready to play and gives us an opportunity to go out there and have a chance to win, they'd be playing. And then there'll be some more movement. You know, again, we want continuous competition and on a daily basis. And there are some spots that I feel like need to be more productive, and we'll see some change in those spots.
With that, do you worry about guys maybe not being able to have a chance to feel comfortable then? Or, you know, if you're moving around so much, so many guys.
Well, you got to find somebody to make a play, you know, especially you talk about an offensive unit and wanting them to gel together. We're talking about 6 or 7 guys. I mean, that's kind of where we are right now from a depth standpoint. So that's not very much juggling. So you got guys that are, you know, learning dual positions. You got one guy backing up butt guards, one guy backing up tackles. Those young kids aren't ready to play, and I'm not going to put them in those situations. They'll continue to grow academically. They'll continue to grow athletically, and when their time comes, they'll be ready to play.
You talked about the challenge that Miami's receiving corps is going to put on you this week. Talk about the play of Clint Stevens. What game he had last week, and are you going to be full strength this Saturday?
Cam's still questionable, which means more reps for Clint. I want to praise him, and he's one of those guys we talked about. Old number 3 made some pretty dynamic and special plays. He did a great job of playing technique and getting his hands on him, and really took the kid out of the ball game. He got beat once, and we saw a little glimpse of the old Clint. Quarterback kind of underthrew it, but what he did a great job was locating and finding that ball and making a play on it down in the far end zone. I was proud of his play Saturday, and I was also proud of the other 2 freshmen we threw out there, Darius Wortham. He looked like he belonged. He played with great confidence. We knew he was a track guy, had great speed. He really went out there and competed. So excited to see that, and it's a great added addition.
No decision on Cam right now.
No decision on Cam. And again, Cam's another one of those young kids. Got a lot of football left to be played. And really, if he's not 100%, he's not going to help us. So we're going to make sure he's healthy before we put him back out there. And really, when I tell you our roster is still a work in progress, but it's better than it was a year ago, it is. I mean, last year we have some of these injuries or some of these things go wrong. It'd have been catastrophic, and it wouldn't have been a pretty sight. We're able now to plug some pieces in and some guys in and able to step up and give us an opportunity to compete and win ball games.
Are you noticing that guys are still positive, still confident? That You're not concerned about losing them or anything like that?
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, our coaches have done a great job of staying consistent in the approach. They've given great effort, and that's one of the things as a head coach is that I look and that you look for. I look for who's not running to the ball. When we score a touchdown, who's not celebrating with their teammates. That's my job. When I look myself in the mirror, I need to make sure I'm doing those things, and when I see it, I need to hold those kids accountable.
Are you still seeing, I guess, a consistent improvement with the young guys that have played a lot?
I think so. I think we're moving in the right direction. And again, you know, it was great to see those guys. We had, you know, first drive of the game, you're moving the ball, you get a first down, fumble. You know, you give them the ball on the 20-yard line, you give up a cheap touchdown. To see those guys get down 20-6, not hang their head, you know, to take the body punch, to continue to fight back, not only to tie the game up, but to take the lead. To me, that is growth. Against an Akron team that's not a bad football team. I think they had Troy beat 17-16. Troy just beat LSU. So to be able to show that fight and determination, you know, it was something that will go a long way for us this football season. Thomas, we got to finish games. We got to finish games. You know, and some of the plays that we're giving up late in the ball game, especially in this one in particular. That's just decision making. We got to do a better job of that.
You talked at the press conference, Coach, about eliminating the outside noise.
Correct.
That's the quote that you used.
Right.
Is that the message to the team?
No doubt. I mean, we got 7 ball games left, you know, and nobody gives us a chance. And really, it's we got to back to back, shoulder to shoulder, and we got to fight through this thing together. You know, it's college football. People are passionate about it, as they should be. And we want that, like I've told you before. But we know the work that we put in every day. I know the way that our coaches prepared, and I know that nobody wants it any more than those young men and those coaches and the hall back behind me. So we'll stay together. We'll continue to compete. We'll continue to fight, and we'll find a way to get some wins.
with that improvement sorry, that you've seen, what's it take to translate that into wins?
Wins. It takes success. It takes, making the plays when you're given the opportunity. And it takes really a lack of panic and being able to relax and play free. Because, again, we talked about some of those situations that, from the cornerback standpoint, offense land stone, we put ourselves in. We're in good position. Just trust yourself. Trust your technique. We don't need anybody trying to make spectacular play. I thought the guys had a great game plan offensively and defensively. Put them in positions to make plays. They just got to trust and believe. And, that's when I talk about, get rid of the outside noise. Don't worry about what people are saying or what people are thinking. Go out there and play. Because if you take that into a ball game and you press, you're never going to be as successful as good as you possibly can be.
When you're talking about Jinks, checking to a play, maybe not something you wanted to see, and decision making, is that stuff that you can coach, or is that stuff that he just has to be able to do on his own?
Well, those are things that you coach, because if he does it, he doesn't play. That's why you saw Jared Dagey in there. So, and if we felt like that the next guy up is prepared and ready to play, he would be given an opportunity as well. Now, we believe in James' skill set. He prepares as well as anybody on our football team, anybody in the conference, anybody in the country. Again, we talk about not trying to do too much. Just play within the system and take what they give you. So one of the things that we talked about is it's one thing to have the ability to go and get on the board and tell you where everybody's supposed to be, this, that, and the other. But what you look for is what a quarterback's able to do in those first 3 seconds after the ball snapped. And that's where we can see some improvement, and that's what we're talking through, and that's what we're working through at this moment.
And you've obviously got a package in there for Loy right now.
Yeah, he's a big athletic kid.
Yeah, what went into the thinking there? Is that something that you guys will utilize more?
Definitely. You got to use them. You're trying to maximize your roster. And the thing that I like about putting Grant back there some, and just to change the pace of the game. I think you saw Akron did it the other night. They threw a number one out there, and it kind of got him going a little bit. Kind of won a drive for him. The thing I like about Grant going back there, he's still picking up our offensive system, but he can throw it. He can throw a pretty decent deep ball. He's got a pretty strong arm, so it's not just your traditional wildcat. They're going to have to play the pass too. So I think moving forward, we're going to utilize his skill set and get him out there a little bit more and more this season.
You talked about the way to get winning again is to win. Right. Is there a frustration or a disappointment that doing that late last year didn't seem to translate into this year?
Well, definitely, but I think you got to take a look at the schedule and things of that nature and some of the matchups. Unfortunately, that does make a little bit of a difference. If you look at a majority of our conference, most of them were 1-3 or 2-2 at best because of those reasons. So you've got to understand that. It was frustrating, more frustrating last Saturday because, again, there is parity, and that if you can just control the things that your responsibilities, that you really have an excellent chance of being very successful in our conference play.
And for Miami, is there anything specifically on the defensive side that you've been looking at?
Well, I mean, Gus, the quarterback is a special player. He's the engine that makes everything go. He just has a unique ability to make. We talk about decision making. It seems like he's making all the right decisions, and he's giving his playmakers a chance to make plays. That being said, and really breaking them down and watching them, they want to run the football. They want to run the football, and we've got to be sound, and we've got to stop it and try to do a good job of frustrating Ragland and making him earn it. I thought they did a decent job of keeping the kid last week from Akron. One of the things we focused on was keeping him in the pocket and and we only got the 1 sack, but they stayed disciplined in their rush lanes. Little things like that, I'm seeing improvement. And you ask where they stayed disciplined in their rush lanes, and they got the 1 sack, but all night they were in his face, and he wasn't able to scramble and make the huge plays. They were running a little zone read that they had some success with, but those were designed quarterback runs. So we're improving. We're by no means where we need to be, but we'll play good football this year.
With the package with Lloyd, I mean, is there a concern now that with Davey being out, about another quarterback being injured and then you're down to?
This college football, man, and every week is a Super Bowl. Every week, it's one week, one game at a time, and you better find a way to get a win. That's kind of not just because of our current situation, but that's just kind of how you approach this business.
Coach, you got a ton of success in your coaching career. It's well documented. Have you ever been in a situation where you've started this slow and had to turn the season around? And
Absolutely. Early on in my coaching career, I took a few jobs that were rebuilding, for lack of a better word, and had some 3 and 7s, but always found a way to get those things flipped. And the way that you do that again is consistency. Believe it or not, in high school you're on 1-year contracts, and they want you out just as bad too. So we're gonna stay the course, man. We're gonna stay the course. Sun came up today. The kids had a great attitude. I feel like I've got the support of our administration. I think they understand what we're going through. I think they understand the big picture and that we're doing things the right way. And at the same time, I understand their frustration and the angst on their part, because if you think I'm getting pressure, they're getting just as much. So we'll stay together as a football team, we'll stay together as a football family, and we'll continue to build this thing the right way.